Back to another Godzilla Battleline video, and today we're taking a look at the logs for Godzilla Minus One and the Shinden. We are not looking at logs for Godzilla Minus One Ginza version, because when this video goes live, Ginza version is not out yet. I'll make my own video for him. I'm just excited for Ginza, so he'll get his own video. I should say before we get into this, minor spoiler warning for not Shin Godzilla, oh my god, for Godzilla Minus One. If you haven't seen the movie yet, these logs may or may not contain spoilers. I think that they do, but they're so minor that it doesn't really matter. But if you really just don't want to know anything or have even the slightest inkling of anything for the movie, I would back out now, come back later. So, what are we talking about? The unit logs. I know there is a lot, and I mean a lot of new players who are discovering the game and discovering my channel for the very first time. So we have a chart. It'll be in the description down below. And it is essentially an entire map, like a police board almost, like a when you're tracking serial killers, of all of the logs in the game. Now, what are the logs? Well, you may have noticed in your expeditions that there is a text block above your expeditions, but underneath the world map. These are the logs, and as your map times down, you know, from 24 hours to 0. Right? It's a story is going to progress over the hours, and by reading the story, you will be able to tell what is the rarest monster or piece, you know, it could be a plane or whatever, in your expeditions, and it goes from left to right. So say you have, say you have a bronze, say you opened up a gold map, right? You get a bronze piece, a bronze piece, a bronze piece, and then it's going to go, bam, your legendary piece. It's going to pick that legendary piece. It's going to go from left to right in order of rarity. If you have 2 4-stars in your map for whatever reason, the logs are only going to tell you the logs for the first 4-star going left to right. So say you have Godzilla Waka version and then Fire Rodan, it's going to give you the logs for Waka first. Or it's only going to give you the logs for Waka because he comes first in the order. So now that you know what to look for, this whole entire chart is in the description down below, and it's going to have this entire key that you can read and see exactly how to find, what you're looking for in the maps. Let's take a look at the logs. We will start with the Shinden, because Shinden has its own unique logs. Shinden was blessed with its own text, so we will go look at that. It's going to start with a dark figure blocked out the sun above us, for a mere moment before flying off into the distance. We resolved to hurry after it. Now, this is the starting text for many, many, many of the flyers in this game, or aliens. Flyers and aliens generally have this. So, it then goes to, as we continued our pursuit, we heard a booming roar from the direction the figure had flown. Again, very common for flyers. We're going to move down, but we're going to move across right here and down here. The object is too far away to tell for sure, but it looks to be some kind of man-made flying object. It appears to be a fighter plane with a distinctive shape. I observed the plane making a sudden turn. The aircraft soars through... I think that says throughout. It's supposed to be throughout. So the aircraft soars throughout the sky. A thick plume of smoke trailing behind it. I got some spelling errors here, you guys. A thick plume of smoke trailing behind it. The exhaust seems to be in good shape, a sign of a skilled mechanic. I believe it is chasing something. It flew away in a flash, perhaps to hunt down its target. That's the Shinden. So, the Shinden shares these first 2 logs. A dark figure blocked out the sun, and we continue our pursuit. The figure roared out. It shares its logs with most of the flyers. But everything from the object is far away to tell it looks like a man-made flying object, everything from that down, that is unique to the Shinden. Okay? If you see any of these 4 logs in your graph, or not graph, this is a graph, but if you see any of those 4 logs in your expedition page, it's for the Shinden. Now, if we back out and we go see Godzilla, we're going to start with the classic Godzilla line. We've discovered colossal footprints stamped firmly into the ground. A thorough search will be conducted in the hopes of locating more. Very typical for a lot of the land-based kaiju. I mean, we have like Naranga, Ultima, Kong, King Caesar. A lot of the land-based mammalian kaiju and Godzillas all start with that. The footprints stretch onwards. We will use them as our guide, while keeping an ever-watchful eye on our surroundings. A thundering roar rang out from up ahead. The footprints appeared to be leading us straight to the source. Alright, you follow that down here. In addition to footprints, there are signs of a thick, heavy tail being dragged across the ground behind them. This is an iconic Godzilla Battle Line lore piece because it is basically 90% of the Godzillas in this game come from this right here. So we're going to follow this down all the way to the end here. We're going to pass all these other characters right here at the end. We're going to go to, we have observed something huge protruding out of the ocean. It seems to be moving quite fast. We are a great distance from the target. However, the sheer terror of the monster's existence has rendered my entire squad, it says motionless right here. Motionless. Gotta rearrange it. Fuck it. Motionless. And then that is Godzilla -1 right there. So you guys, I'm gonna mess with this a little bit more. This is really gonna aggravate me. But those are the logs for Godzilla -1 and the Shinden. Godzilla -1, not really any spoiler heavy log. Shinden has, like, I don't know, you could count as a very minor spoilers for the movie. But that is the logs. Remember guys, it is in your expedition page. In between where you're running your maps and the map of the world, there's going to be a block of text in the middle. You can scroll through that and read the logs. Okay? You cannot predetermine, you cannot choose what you get in the maps, but you at least can get a heads up on what you will be unlocking. So, I hope this is helpful for new players. I was going to wait to make this video until -1 Ginza came out, but I think this might just be general information that's helpful to newer players who are playing for the first time. Obviously, you're new players and getting -1 or excited about getting -1. So, I hope you learned something from this video, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.